We're back. It is my boys. It is the Sydney Roosters taking on the West Tigers. Um, oh, where do I start with this one? They're fresh off a win, obviously, versus your boys, the Cowboys. Lindsay Collins, Takiaho, they're both still sidelined, but there is a lot of positives to come in. Trent's gone with the same 17 that was impressive against the Cowboys. Oliver Gildert. Now, this is a big one. He's been named amongst the reserves after scoring five tries for North Sydney in the New South Wales Cup versus I believe it was Newcastle. Baxter, talk to me through this Rooster side. You saw your team kind of get belted by him last week. Are you confident that they get the job done, or are you confident with this lineup and moving forward?
Yeah, look, it is a very strong lineup on paper. I'll throw it to you. Apparently, there's going to be talks for Matt Lodge to sign a 3-year deal with the Sydney Roosters. Are you liking that, or are you not liking it? Because ever since he's moved to the Roosters, he's sort of become that player that we all knew he could be, and he's just, mate, is he a clone of Jeremy Hargreaves? Because obviously that bloke's aging and going to retire very shortly. Is this just a like-for-like player here?
Well, I guess you got to look at it as two ways here. Do I think it's a good signing on face value? Yes, I think Lodge has come in. He's dominated since he's come back. I think it's in 5 games. He's had 1 error, and he's running for an average of like 95 to 100 meters. So, yes, in that sense, it is a good signing. Now, I flip to my other side. We've just re-signed, or Angus Crichton has revealed he's about to re-sign the contract. We've obviously got Tedesco. We've obviously got the Cheese coming in. We currently still have Luke Keary on contract. It makes me wonder if Lodge was meant to come on. Now, he was listed in that top 100 on, I think it was about $900,000.
Yeah.
Again, there's going to be the jokes about the sombrero, but I just don't see how he fits into our cap unless a Jared is retiring, unless we're moving on a Luke Keary on 1.2 million. Unless we're moving on players like that, I just don't see how he's going to fit into your squad. But on face value, get him in the squad because he's been unbelievable.
Yeah, Uncle Nick will find a way to put him under the cap. Oh, sorry, sombrero there. Look, as I said, good side, good on paper, good on the park, and why change a winning formula?
Well, obviously, we will pop up the next the next team. It is the West Tigers before we do get your prediction. Ken Mamala obviously returns from a knee injury. That moves Stafford Toa to the centers, which is a big in for that team. James Roberts does drop out. Where do we go with this one? Obviously, they have been hot and cold. They did get touched up last week by Brisbane, I believe it was.
Sharks.
The Sharks, my apologies.
In Tamworth, which we were tempted to drive to. But
we would have got there quicker than what we got to the SCG. But
yeah,
36-12 losers last round up. This is the team list with Ken Mamalo in. Talk me through it. Obviously, they are missing a few players, obviously for injury. But do you give them much of a chance?
Oh, look, this side could win a premiership if you really wanted to. But as you said in the review, this is a team that has gone from playing good one week, terrible the next. Play the good week after, terrible the next. And they've just come off a very, very terrible week against the Sharks. So don't be surprised if the Tigers turn up today and you guys go out there and go, oh, this is an easy win. And the Tigers actually turn up and play and actually beat you. So don't be too surprised. And I did say on the quick predictions of the review, right at the end, I did tip the Tigers. And as a betting man, I'm going to go with the Roosters. But as a guy who's just simply just pure shithousery here, I am going to go for the Tigers. I am going to go for 1-12 for them. And hopefully they can cause an upset.
I think you are absolutely crazy. Now, if this was any other game and the Roosters were already cemented a spot in the top 8 or they were already cemented a spot outside the top 8, I'd probably agree that the Tigers could pull an upset here, but we are farewell in the SCG. It is our last game there. We do move back to, obviously, Allianz Stadium with our next home game. We are fighting for a spot on the top 8, and the Raiders are obviously breathing down our necks. So I'm going to go to Roosters. I'm going to go 13 plus. I think Robinson has etched in these guys' mind that no game is a given the position we're in right now. We need to go out. We need to win every single game. So for that reason alone, I'm going to obviously go with the Roosters winning. We had a bit of a joke at the game last week. I did throw a quick multi across my mates' messages. I didn't back it. I did have Hargrave scoring. I did have Matt Lodge scoring. The only person that let me down was Angus Crichton. So I'm going to chuck Angus Crichton in for a cheeky pie this weekend and say that he's going to get a try. But Baxter, before we move on, what does this side look like next year? Obviously, Luke Brooks, does he stay? Jackson Hastings, does he come back as he was from his injury? Do you see this squad improving next year?
Has to. He can't get any worse than currently last place at the moment. But do I think Luke Brooks stay at the Tigers next year? Look, it's been reported that they want to keep him. Whether or not he does, I don't believe he will be there. I think he will be a Newcastle Knights player come the start of next season. For Jackson Hastings here, look, he was man of the series over there in England. There's a reason why you get man of the steals, and I think he can come back from this terrible injury, and he can come back and be the same player that he was before.
So the Tigers take on, obviously, the Roosters at the SCG. They then face the Dragons at home, and they face the Raiders at home. Is the wooden spoon all but theirs, or does it all go down to that more important for and against?
Look, as you can see, well, as you can't see at the moment, there are 5 teams who could, as their worst finishes towards the end of the season, could finish last place. Tigers, obviously, one of them. You got the Titans, Knights, Warriors, and Bulldogs. They could all finish last. So, as you said, it could come down to their for and against. It could come down to points. It's going to be a cracker end to this wooden spoon, and hopefully the Tigers don't get it, but it's up for grabs.
I can't believe we just finished this podcast with a cracking end to a wooden spoon race. But Baxter, obviously, thank you for joining me. It has been the Roosters versus the West Tigers preview. We're going to have a quick break, and then we will be back, obviously, with the Sunday preview games. It will be the Dragons taking on the Titans, followed by the Knights taking on the Raiders. But Baxter, I'll talk to you soon.
Peace.